If you talk to anyone about your wedding day, I guarantee they've said it's going to go by faster than you think it will. That's very true. But what about all the other things no one tells you about your wedding day? Well, I sat down with some of the leading wedding industry professionals and asked them all about the things that you're not expecting to happen about your wedding day that most likely will.
Okay, I really gotta think about this one and censor myself.
That things happen that you're not supposed to know about.
So the one thing that nobody tells you is that it's gonna fly by so fast.
I think definitely that it flies.
It's gonna go fast, so make sure you have fun.
It flies by.
You spend all of this time planning your big day, but it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Your wedding day will go by a lot faster than you expected it to, so just honestly try and enjoy it as much as you can.
I think that was the biggest thing. You think about it, it's this, 16-hour day. Longer than that. About 16 hours, and it just flies by, and then you're exhausted afterwards.
The one thing that couples don't realize is that their wedding day is going to fly by. And I've heard from a lot of couples say they don't remember some moments that they had seen in their wedding video, and that's huge.
No one tells you how tired you're gonna be. No one tells you that your stress and anxiety could give you a migraine the next day. My husband got a huge migraine the day after his wedding because of the crash of adrenaline. So stay hydrated, drink water. Yeah, have fun, have some tequila, whatever. Drink water though, you're gonna need that. No one's gonna tell you that you're gonna forget everything that happened. So having photos are great, having video is priceless.
People look back and are anxious to see the video because they're like, oh my God, I just was walking down that aisle, I didn't see anybody. Oh, was so-and-so there? It's kind of like a blur for a moment, So I think that's why, as much as you can, start the day, in a relaxed setting with people that are gonna have just good energy around you, because once that ceremony, once you get to a certain point where the ceremony is about to start, it just goes fast. It just really, really does. So I think in the quiet of the morning, kind of just enjoy that, and then just enjoy the fun that comes after the ceremony.
If there's one thing I tell my couples, it's super important to take a few minutes that's just for the two of you, whether it be immediately following the ceremony and just taking 5 or 10 minutes to have a little nibble or a glass of champagne together, and just kind of, take stock and take in your big day together. Because once you get back out into the crowd, you're gonna be pulled in a million different directions, and you might not even see each other again until you sit down to dinner, honestly. So just kind of make a time, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes, just for the two of you to spend together and kind of take it all in.
It does go by quickly, but it is something that there are going to be these tiny little moments that go by quickly that people you haven't seen in a long time, maybe give an extra hug to some grandmother, ask them what their wedding was like, whatever advice you have, connecting with other people, having other people from other circles of your life kind of introducing people to other people and stuff like that. So if they feel that if you're having a great time and you want to see everybody there having a great time, and think about any little shout outs that you can do, any little a special song or a special little thing that you can come up with. That's going to make it much more of a deeper experience, I think, for everybody. But the biggest thing is, when it's time for toasts, pay attention to all the toasts. When it's time for eating, let everybody enjoy eating. When it's time for dancing, do that. And I think just being aware and have your eyes open for the whole thing is really kind of important. So you'll get out of whatever you put into it, and everybody else will too.
That stuff's gonna go wrong. Everybody's so focused on the perfect Pinterest pictures and this fairy tale wedding that, as important as it is, It's not that serious.
Yeah, you can be ready to start your ceremony on time, but if 3/4 of your guests aren't there, you might not start on time, right? I would say things like just, food not coming out, right? If you say dinner is at 7, it's still gonna take guests 20 minutes to get their escort cards, find their seats and sit down. And then you still have introductions and you have all these things going on. So keep those in mind when you're creating your timeline.
A lot more goes wrong than the couple knows. And a lot of times they'll never know. Your vendors are going to find out a solution before telling you the problem, if they ever tell you the problem. But the amount of things that do go wrong on a wedding day, but you'll never know. Everyone else can stress about it. You shouldn't.
There are things that are going to go wrong, and but that's why you have the professionals there to make sure, everything kind of will get into place. But yeah, nothing's going to be perfect on your wedding day.
If there's a decoration that's out of place, forget about it. No one's there for that. They're there for you and your new spouse. So just be happy and just enjoy it. And also, don't plan a whole lot for the next day. You're going to be super tired and everybody's going to be wanting to talk to you and want your attention. So maybe just plan to have an informal breakfast the next day and relax.
I think nobody tells you that your wedding day is not going to be unique. I think really, and that sounds terrible to say, but so many people go into it feeling like, oh, I want to come up with these new ideas that have never happened. There's probably nothing you can think of that hasn't been done before, because I have tried endlessly to think of new and unique things. I think what you have to focus on is making it uniquely you. And that's when you have this amazing experience. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about figuring out what is uniquely you and really making that the experience.
You're always going to need safety pin and scissors, 100% of the time. There's never a wedding where you don't need safety pin and scissors. Drink more water than you think. Make sure you know how to pee in your dress. Have extra socks for the grooms when they're going to forget. Always have snacks on the bus if you're going around from point A to point B, because there's nothing worse than a hungry groom or a hungry bridal party that I have to make sure that they're happy and excited to be there and give me good photos if they haven't eaten since 8 a.m. and now it's like 5:30 p.m. and dinner is not till 8. Give them food, give them water. They will take care of their own alcohol, trust me.
Things always run behind in one way or another. So your vendors are going to do the best they possibly can to keep you on track, but something isn't going to go right. Just something. Every wedding is different, and what that thing is, something's not going to go right. Just be ready for it.
Also, because it has happened in the past, sometimes your friends and family try to keep things from you to protect you, and you can't get mad at them. If they got pregnant right before your wedding and didn't want to tell you to steal the thunder from your wedding, they're not doing it to try and hurt you.
Yeah.
They love you enough to try and let you have your day before they announce something like that.
Yeah, so don't get mad at somebody about something you suspect.
It's really hard. And you're mad that they're not telling you things, but they're trying to give you all the spotlight.
On the flip side, if you're a friend and family member and you're keeping a secret from a bride or groom that actually matters, maybe you should make sure to clue them in at some point. The example I've got is we had a couple who her dad had passed away and they put together a slideshow and didn't tell her. And so she was surprised at the reception with the slideshow with her dad, and it was super duper emotional, and she kind of she melted down a little bit.
Wow.
It's really sweet. People were trying to be super kind,
But they didn't
that's
tell her.
not the kind of thing that you would do that with. So there's circumstances you really need to be conscious of. So
Be like, hey, we made a slideshow. We just want to let you know during first dance, so you're prepared.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't have to give all the things, but you don't want to surprise for all the non-bride and groom people watching. Don't surprise the bride and groom with too many things. You want
they're
to.
super emotional like that. That's a lot.
They've planned the crap out of this day. Don't throw things in that will wrench them up.
I think something no one tells you about your wedding day is the food that you might not get to enjoy. I think so many brides, and myself included, we do the circle of the tables, and even when you do sit down, I feel like there's sort of that endless receiving line that comes to you. And I think that's lovely. People have the best of intentions, but you do need to eat. It's a very, very long day. So I think some of my happiest clients are the ones that have planned for lunch, which is something that kind of gets neglected in the scheme of a wedding day. There's so much happening that people do forget to eat and drink water and all that stuff. So I think that's important.
I don't think anybody ever really tells the groom that it's really pretty much all about the bride that day. I mean, the traditions are such that, you know, everyone stands to greet her when she comes in. I don't know how you say that in this video, but they should be aware of the fact that life is going to go on after the wedding day. They should be aware that they're going to be the constant focus for probably 16 hours that day, and they're going to need stamina.
I got comfortable shoes with a nice platform. My husband's 6'4". I am 5'2". You do the math. I needed comfortable shoes, so I wore a 4-inch heel with a nice platform. I was used to a heel, but then when I took them off, Fred Flintstone feet. You will not put those shoes back on. You will want to take your shoes off midway if you didn't plan that out very well. So you definitely want to shop in advance for a good pair of shoes that are comfortable, that you won't be compelled to take them off 10 minutes after you walk down the aisle. And if you do that, make sure that your dress is hemmed to that length. It's very important. So comfortable shoes are a must. And don't plan on doing everything that you see in the movies. It's not going to happen. You plan your day based on realistic expectations, and then what happens after that, cut it in half. Because it's not all going to go as you planned. But you want to make sure that the important things are highlighted, that if you have someone that you want to make sure you talk to or that is involved in the wedding, you plan it out in advance to make sure that they're involved.
Your wedding night is going to be just finally shutting down. There's no movie, you know, this idea of, you know, oh man, you know, your wedding night's romantic. Your wedding night is the two of you, like, more than likely drunk, sweaty, worn out, just carrying stuff into your house. And not to be ungracious, I mean, you got gifts and that's wonderful that people like you. But yeah, it's work, man. That whole day is work.
You know, people don't tell you that the little kid may just fall on the ground, your ring bearer may throw the rings at you. Stuff can go wrong, and it's okay. And it's not a big deal. People aren't going to remember that. People are going to remember they were so in love, they looked so happy, we had a great time. They're not going to remember the little piddly things that happen. So just don't worry about that stuff.
Keep in mind you need to budget time to look at your friends and family and just cherish them and be present in the moments that matter most. Because it doesn't matter that your bus was 5 minutes late to pick you up. What matters is your grandma was in the room with you when you said I do. Those are the things you need to keep in mind.
We hope this episode of Vendors helps you on your wedding planning. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and to share to make sure you and your fellow planning couples don't miss a single episode. If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to check out our entire conversation in the podcast. You can find all of today's vendors and their contact information in the details below this video. And be sure to check out all of our episodes about these amazing wedding industry professionals. We'll see you next time on Vendors. Vendors is produced and edited by Night Owls Media. More information can be found at nightowlsmedia.com.